Well, this is the first time really sitting in the car with a seat. And what this is actually going to be like. Man, I can't wait. Alright, so you saw me install this one earlier. This is underneath the front of the seat. Seat's going to pitch down. This will be roughly around the bottom of the seat. Then what I did was, as the floor comes back up, I added another cross brace here. This one I added an additional 3/4 of an inch backwards, so I can add the back piece of the seat. That's what the foam and everything will be attached to, and then the Naugahyde and everything will be stapled to. So I moved this back 3/4 of an inch. I did not lower the bottom one because I feel as though I'll be able to kind of make up for that with the foam if I need to go a little bit thinner or thicker or whatever. And now what I'm doing is, because I don't have a drive shaft in yet, and I should have had one, and I'm guilty for I keep forgetting to order one. I threw this piece of angle iron on here. I centered it over the yoke on the back of the transmission, and then I put it on top of the pinion on the yoke on the front of the rear axle. Then what I did was I took my drive shaft hoop, made my measurements, found the center of this cross brace, but what I did was I just took my drive shaft hoop, kind of centered it so it's hanging vertical on the point, and then I checked it with this, made sure it was hanging down. It's plumb right there. So I want to mark exactly, these exactly where the drive shaft hoop is going to meet this cross brace. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that piece of material on that 1-inch bar stock. And then this drive shaft hoop is going to slide up into it, and then I'm going to tack it, weld it in place. I don't think this is going to be high enough to leave it in place. I feel like it's going to interfere with the drive shaft, so that's why I'm going to remove that. But what I'm going to do first is, I know these are level, I know these are right where they need to be. I'm going to cut 2 small pieces of this box tubing, and I'm going to add some verticals, and then I'm going to add a couple pieces here as well. So as long as it's square, which it is, and I should be good to tack it in. Still, I'm just tacking things in place for now, in case I need to move things in the future. I've been busy, hard at work. Izzy's out here with me too. Hi, Izzy. Hi, honey. You being a good girl. Yeah, you being a good girl. You want to go in the house? Go outside. I'll show you guys something disgusting. It makes me sick. Ugh. There's nasty stuff all over the ground. And it's still coming down. There you go, honey. Go ahead, go in the house. I'll be in a little bit. Alright, back in the shop. Been picking away at the floor. I ended up making some changes. So luckily I bought 2 of these transmission hoops, so drive shafts hoops. Because I cut one and I welded it and I got it all, not welded, but tacked in place and cut. And unfortunately I cut it. If I didn't cut it, and it was one of the last things I did, if I hadn't cut it, I would have been able to reuse it. What I ended up doing was, originally, where's the other one? The hoop is here. I had the hoop here and it was vertical. And the more I started looking at it, the more I realized that wasn't the right way to do it, because I was going to have to modify the bottom of the seat a lot to incorporate this. So then what I figured was, if I had just originally leaned it back, I could have just incorporated the uprights, which I had here. I could have not needed those and just use the drive shaft hoop as the upright and use it as a drive shaft hoop. So I ended up cutting that one out. I cut 2 additional pieces here for this bracketry, and then I cut the other drive shaft hoop down, and that is going to go right there. So this is actually going to work out much better. Like I had said, I kind of wish I had done that to begin with. I'm going to be able to weld this in, and now I can just put 2 small flat pieces of plate under here. It'll fill the bottom of the hoop, and it'll fill the hole in the back of the tube, of the box tube. And this portion of the bottom of the seat will be all said and done. I propped up the deck lid, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one more piece, one more crossbar across the back in front of the rear cross member. I'll add another one behind it over the shock towers, over the top of the shock mounts, and then I'll add another one all the way in the back. And so I need three more cross braces on the frame, across the frame for the floor. And then at that point, I got to start thinking about the structure for where the gas tank is going to go. That's really kind of it. I mean, the battery's going to go in the back of the trunk area somewhere. I'm not too worried about that. That can pretty much go anywhere, but I'll be more concerned about the fuel tank. So the back of the seat's going to be here. Back of the seat will be here. The seat comes up to about 1 inch below the quarter glass, the quarter windows. And then what I'm going to build is a bulkhead going back behind the seat. I don't know if I'm going to make the seat fold forwards or not. At this point, I probably won't. I don't think I really need to, because I have access in the trunk. But we'll see. We'll see how things evolve. So in any event, I'm going to get this welded in place right where it's at, and then keep working backwards. I'll probably fit the seat back in after I get this welded, or at least tacked in place. If I need to remove it, I have access to the welds. So I'm just going to let that sit there for a minute, and I'm going to pop the seat back in, and I'm pretty sure this is going to interfere with the back of the seat, but that's okay for now. I can always modify the seat. There's like a metal pan that the seat foam attaches to on the back of the seat, and this is what is going to hit that drive shaft hoop. So I'll end up having to modify this. It shouldn't affect the seat foam at all, but I'll have to modify this just a little bit, but I'll do that later. So as of right now, it'll just sit forwards about 1 inch. Alright, so it's rocking now. It's hitting on something. All right, so this entire metal frame now is hitting on this. I don't know what that spring is for. Whatever it is, the screw is loose, and I want to see if I can get it out of there. Now this seat came with all the parts that I got from the purchase of the Blomberg Coupe. I'm calling it the Blomberg Coupe, but it just sounds better. Alright, so let's see how much of this thing it's hitting. Not much at all. Alright, so gonna have to make a quick modification. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! That is hot! My goodness! Damn! Alright, so that sits down there now. You can hear it, it's kind of rocking in between, I think. Where is it hitting on now? Do I have to go further? You know what, I got a marker in my back pocket. Probably should have used it. So, let's see if we can slide underneath the car. I don't think I can. At least get my arm up in there. No, it's still hitting. All right, so it's still sitting real high. And I guess it's because it's... I'm gonna make another measurement and make another cut. That's how you build a hot rod. Well, that kind of works out perfect now, doesn't it? This tray comes all the way back and goes right to here, and it looks like it goes all the way across the seat, but there's nothing here. It's kind of like it's made for it. Now, I was gonna build a brand new seat for this car, but after working on it today with this seat, I don't know as if I'm gonna do that. All right, that's all the way back. Let's try this now. Let's get the back of the seat over that transmission tunnel. What? Maybe not. No. This is my hot rod seat. Allie was earlier testing it with me. She liked it. Said it was more comfortable than the 30, which is not a hard thing to do. So I've got quite a bit of leg room. I think I had shown earlier. Plenty of room underneath my knees, between my knees and the steering wheel. And shut the door. I got about an inch, a little over an inch, inch and a half, but this can squeeze in if it has to. I got plenty of cushion. I'm not sitting on any anything hard, so this is my line of vision right here. This is the camera's right in front of my eyes, so it's perfect. I think all in all, it's going to be pretty good. You can see the height of the back of the seat, which is right at the top, or I'm sorry, right at the bottom of the quarter window. Same here. It's just nice and comfortable. I think I'm going to be really happy with this. I got plenty of room between. I got a full hand's width. I can fit my whole hand in here without even touching the wheel. Granted, there's no interior panel on the door, but still. All right, here we go. All right, so I cut down another cross member. This one isn't so much structural because I know I have this cross member here. This is mainly just something to attach the floor to. So I'm going to add this one here, and then you can see where the frame comes back and isn't just kind of lopped off here, because obviously they dropped the body down over the frame. And then he has these mounts here that are just mounted right to the top of the chassis. So I don't know what I'm going to do with these areas here where that void is. I'm going to need to try to figure out a way to attach the floor. I don't know where I'm going to do that at. I may end up dropping it down and attaching it at this point here, where I can kind of weld it on to this lip. I think that's probably what's going to happen. But again, I won't really know until I'm going to get this one tacked in place, and then get one additional cross member tacked in place somewhere in the middle. Let's see how these kind of work out. Hopefully I'll have access to these to remove them. If not, I'll make little blisters in here for those. But in any event, I'm going to get this tack welded on right now. Tape measure. 6 7/8. Can't get my head in there with the welding helmet on. 6 7/8. I gotta pull it back just a touch. I had just this little piece of metal up here to make sure I was flat, level with the top of the frame. There we go. We're good. All right, so get that one tacked on. Throw a few other tacks on it just to make sure it's in there good. I don't think I'm gonna have to pull these ones out. If anything, I'll have to add to them. Like I said, for the gas tank and stuff. So one more cross member for tonight, I think. Been on here most of the day. Ellie's out food shopping because she's awesome. $40 Let's go to the cutter machine. Shut the welder off. Look at this. One left. I can get two pieces of floor like structure out of one length, but you don't realize they go so fast. I bought 2 full lengths of 1-inch box tubing, 24 feet each length, and I thought, well, I'll have plenty left over. Clearly not the case. I'll start working on the floor tomorrow. Instead of just gonna break a lip, tuck it down in here, build a flange like this has. I'm gonna try to make it one piece to go straight across, down the slope, up the back. That'll be one piece. Then it'll come up the sides of the frame rail also. So hopefully I can make that in one piece. I don't know if I can yet. Actually, yeah, maybe not because of the drive shaft hump. And then the next piece will be from behind the seat up to that piece of cross member that I just installed right behind, or right in front of the rear axle. That piece will go from right behind the seat to here. And then the next piece will be from here back. I'm gonna try to do the floor in 3 main pieces and then a couple of fillers here and there. All right, I'm gonna test fit this, and then I'm gonna get my sander out and just get all the mill scale sanded off this piece of metal. Get my magnets set up. Well, I'm gonna have to clean. I have to clean this frame rail because I didn't get to this. I didn't get to this the other day when I was sanding everything down. Truth be told, it makes such a damn mess. I'm not looking forward to it. I ordered this morning, I ordered a Eastwood Contour, and I'm looking forward to getting it. After sanding this frame the other day, took hours. The whole time I kept thinking, why didn't I buy one of those things a long time ago? I'm really looking forward to getting it and putting it to use. I see the videos online and the posts that people put up on Instagram and stuff, and it's really impressive. They look like they do an amazing job, so I'm looking forward to it. So anyways, I'm gonna get these inner frame rails sanded where it's boxed, get it ground down so I can get this last piece in and call it a night. Go in the house and do some editing. Basically just figuring out exactly what I'm gonna do off the back of this frame. I know I can attach it. See, the taillights are attached to this flange, so I can just remove these taillights and just re-drill some holes through whatever metal I add. But I gotta figure out exactly how I'm gonna attach it. All right, so quick walk around. This is what we got done today. We got these 4 cross members here in place, the one beneath the seat with the little drive shaft hoop. We got these 2 pieces, well actually just one. Those 2 pieces coming up front, this piece in today. We got the seat mounted, well, sitting in place at least, dry fit. Like I said, I am gonna have to make a few slight modifications to it, but proportions wise, as far as the steering wheel and everything goes, it's perfect. Getting the seat and the position of the seat with the wheel and everything, it's kind of it's like a milestone, one of the milestones of building a car. And anybody that's built one of these cars, I think would agree with that. Just getting the seat kind of in the position where you can actually feel like it's a car, and you can sit in the seat and hold the steering wheel, and you make your vroom vroom noises and pretend you're driving it. As a lot of people saw me the other day I posted on Instagram and Facebook. That's exactly what I was doing. It's just exciting. It was exciting to get the seat in place, and now, like I said, with the structure on the floor, I'll be able to start moving forwards with the sheet metal and getting all my templates made and whatnot. So, but let's go check out and see what I've got done at this point, and kind of catch you guys up to speed. So you can see the seats in place. I wasn't planning on using this particular seat. I was going to build a seat from scratch. I have everything from Albright Supply to build a brand new seat. However, this seat just worked out so perfectly. It's exactly what I was hoping to build. But the fact that it's already done, it's complete, I was able to build the floor structure to fit that seat. And it's just worked out fantastically. You can see the height of the seat is right at the bottom of the quarter window, which you couldn't ask for a better seat position, and seat height rather. The fuel tank is a 55-56 Ford truck, F100. It needs to be tilted up 45 degrees in order to be mounted the way it needs to be mounted. It's just sitting there now. I am going to weld on some tabs and some flanges on the other end, and then build like I said, some type of a structure to put that in with and mount that to. All of these supports are just tacked in place. I haven't welded anything in yet. See, what I was going to work on next was going to be the back half of this, but I think this is going to be really involved, and I don't have a ton of time today. I'm going to be heading up to meet all the car club guys north of Boston at one of the members' houses, so I have a few hours to spend this morning in the garage, so I just wanted to kind of come out and feel like I actually accomplished something. Yesterday I went over to Paul Aldrich's shop up in Leominster, Mass. Paul is a lifelong hot rodder in Massachusetts. He has been building hot rods since I believe the 60s, or late 50s, early 60s. Original member of the Tie Rods, and I went there to talk to him about the Blomberg Coupe and see if he remembered Bob from back in the day. Unfortunately, he didn't really remember Bob. I think Bob was 5 or 6 years older than him. I'm sure he said they all ran in the same circles, but everybody didn't always know everybody. So, that being said, I was able to meet Paul and talk to Paul about a lot of his cars and whatnot, and was telling him some of the history of the cars that I have. And we're actually going back there again this coming week to spend some more time with Paul, to be able to talk to Paul and ask him some more questions. And so I was very fortunate to be able to do that. So, this being said, so that's why I wasn't able to work in the garage yesterday. I was gone all day. So I'm going to kind of get a few things situated, move some things around, figure out what I'm going to do. Try to spend maybe a couple hours, like I said, in the garage. It's early Sunday morning, but we're taking off before lunchtime. But I want to get out here and feel like I actually got something accomplished. So I think what I need to do next is, I think I need to figure out exactly how it is I'm going to mount the back of that seat, and then also build my bulkhead. So what I need to work on is to figure out where and how I'm going to build the frame around the back of my seat. I want some uprights here to divide myself from the trunk area. This will be sheathed in sheet metal, and then, like I said, the plywood. The back of the seat will have a half-inch, probably half-inch. I said 3/4 in the other video. Half-inch thickness plywood. What I need to figure out is exactly how I'm going to come up off the frame, and then where I'm going to go to in regards to where this structure is going to end. This would be a nice area to be able to tuck in a piece of material like the plywood or PVC for the package tray. So I'm kind of trying to figure out where this whole thing is going to end, or if I'm going to come straight down here. Problem is I can't weld anything to the body of the car. If I do, it'll burn the paint. So for those people who had said, I don't know why you're painting the car first before you do everything else. Alright, you got that on me. You got me there. I was excited to get the paint done. Clearly I might have jumped the gun a little bit, but I think I can work away. I think I can work around it. I just need to slowly take my time and figure out exactly how it is I'm going to do this. But I do know, at least for now, I need to get a frame built. So what I'm going to do is put the seat back in the car. Where it's going to go. I need to build an actual frame for the actual seat itself also, so it can be as one. What I need to do is need to get a height measurement on the seat so I can figure out how high the bulkhead needs to be. off the top of the frame rail. The seat sits about 20 inches tall. Yeah, I'd say 20 inches tall. So if I were to build it at 19 inches tall, coming off the back of the seat, when I add my interior, my pleats and all that, I'll probably gain with the piece of plywood or whatever I'm going to put it on, plus the foam and the padding and the sew foam. I'll add, let's just say, another inch, give or take, maybe a little less. So that'll put me right at the top of the seat. That puts me going back just above the deck lid hinges, or right at about the deck lid hinges. So then what I might just end up doing is when I do the interior around the back of the car, I can just bring it straight down underneath here, and that will hide my deck lid hinges. But for now, I can at least start on the structure for the package tray. So I need to build a box here first for the back behind the seat. Then I'm going to build some 45s. I'll add some structure to so I can mount the tank, and then I have to figure out exactly where it is. I'm going to run this filler. I'm going to run it on the inside of the car, the outside of the car, because at this point I haven't figured that out yet. I have to start somewhere, and there's really no definite place to start, so I just need to start measuring and kind of just coming up with a plan and figure something out. Cutting down the vertical uprights for the back of the seat frame. I'm gonna have, I think I'll do just 3 of those, just to kind of save on material for the time being, just so I still can make sure that I have enough material to build the rest of the structure that I need for the back of the frame, and also the gas tank mount. So I'll have 3 vertical pieces, horizontal piece for now. I'm gonna put on, I'll add 2 angles going down here to figure out exactly where they need to mount for the gas tank, to mount the tank. And then I'm gonna have to go to the back of the car. On the rain channel, there's some rivets underneath that I believe were part of the original structure in the body, I think. I don't necessarily know for sure, but there are some rivets under here. I don't think you can see them in the video because it is a little dark under here. I may end up punching one of those rivets out and adding and doing a tack weld or a little weld to a rear support there to hold it. There won't be any weight on the package tray. It's just going to need to be attached to the rear of the car somewhere. Either that, or I'll build it and then drop it down somewhere in the back. So it's just enough to get some structure. I still need to have access to remove the hinge pins for the deck lid, so I need to be able to access those in the future. So I don't really want to shoot myself in the foot and box them in and not have access to them. So there it goes. So it's going to be another slow process, but hopefully at the end, oh, my piece is done. Hopefully at the end it'll be something that's functional and it looks good, and it'll be exactly what I wanted it to be. Alright, so let me keep cutting these. That's much better. Alright, put one right in the center of the drive shaft loop. I'm gonna burn that pretty fabric. Alright, and the last one I still gotta clean up the mill scale to get it ready to weld. So I'm gonna clean this third one up, and then I'm gonna set the seat in. Woo, she's a smoker! Ready to get that third one cleaned up, get that one tacked in place, and set that seat back in there and see where I'm at. This almost looks as comfortable as my grandparents' old pineapple couch. That thing was a dream. Woo! Oh, she's a cruiser. I'm digging it. That's it. That's the start of my seat back in the bulkhead frame. Alright, now I want to make sure they're square. And to do that, I need to actually find my square. She's a bit off. Oh yeah. Just a touch. Alright, the center's square. Got my welded helmet. I don't know what the hell I did with it. I just had it. I literally just had it. Sitting on my valley pan. Oh, come on, you ground. Where'd you go? Alright, so I got those 3 vertical pieces tacked in place. Now what I need to do is do a horizontal piece across the top. I already measured it. It's 39 inches wide. And at the ends I'm going to do 45s so I can picture frame or, you know, miter cut it and have the pieces that are going back towards the rear of the car, towards the trunk area, so I can 45 those so it'll be just nice and clean so I don't have to fill in any ends of the pipe. After that, I'm going to get my framework laid out for the gas tank and figure out. I think I'm probably going to end up having to add some more bracing and supports on the floor. So that'll be, so far at this point, the back structure of the seat. I'm going to keep picking away. How's it going? So, I'm kind of running out of time here. Like I said, I'm taking off to go hang out with all the guys from the club. But I want to show you where I'm at. I got the 3 vertical backs, some back supports welded. They're welded on the bottom, but they're tacked on top onto this horizontal piece. So what I ended up doing was I cut a 45 here, and I don't know if you can see or not, but probably can't. This is the outer edge back here of the rain gutter, and there are rivets that were drilled out or cut at some point. So what I ended up doing is the seat back is actually the same width as the rain channel from side to side on the car. So 45 in this here, I'm going to be able to go straight back and attach it to right where the bodywork is at the rain gutter. What I think I'm going to do is probably drill out one of these rivets or both of them, and then modify the stock so it goes right to here, and then probably on the bottom portion of this, what I'll do is on the end of the bar stock, I'll probably notch it to fit it underneath here, and then I'll be able to either, I guess I'll probably be able to just do a couple little spot welds, and that'll hold the back of the seat permanently to underneath the rain channel, and it won't interfere with anything underneath inside the car. I'm not going to get that done today. I'll probably get it done tomorrow when I get back out in the garage. What I also need to work on next is figuring out the dimensions of the fuel tank, and then getting some braces, some horizontal braces, because they got to be at about like a 45-degree angle the way that the tank sits, and I'm hoping I can mount them off the inside of these. If not, I'll add another support going across the back seat of the car, back of the seat, and then I'll add my, you know, structure or whatever it is that I'm going to need to mount the tank. But the tank will be directly behind the back of the seat. And that being said, as I had said earlier, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to end up having to run the fill tube up here and then up through the top quarter on the passenger quarter, somewhere around this vicinity. I hadn't planned on cutting any holes in the car, but I don't know if I really want to be opening the trunk lid and then reaching way in to put gas in the car. I may be able to put the fuel up under here and keeping the outside of the car clean. I have several different fuel tank filler tubes that I grabbed on a pick up in Maine when we went picking in a video earlier over the summertime. So I'm going to see what I have there and what rubber hose that I have that I can make work. And if I can make it work where I can get the filler just right here so I can just pop the trunk lid and put the filler there, I may do that. So the back of the seat, the metal is just above the seat. And depending on how we do the foam and build this back out, it'll probably be pretty close to it. And then obviously I'm going to have the package tray on top. And if I add this support going back, I think I'll just be able to build this package tray with either wood or something, and then wrap it with naugahyde and get it pleated and all that stuff. So that's the seat as of right now, and I'm going to walk away from it for today, go hang out with my friends. Fortunately it's really cold, so I'm not looking forward to being cold, but hopefully we're going to have a good time. I'm sure we will. And I hope everybody's enjoying themselves today, Saturday. Get out in the garage, go work on your car or your truck or your whatever project it is you're working on. Get out there and, I don't know, build some cool stuff. Alright guys, enjoy your day. Take care. I'll see you soon. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.